Welcome to low elo games and why they get thrown. In this game, we're going to be looking at a Kayn jungle game in I think Bronze 1, and we're going to have a look at some of the reasons why these low elo games tend to get thrown. So we're just going to start off with your clear. Your clear was pretty good, but there's just a few things you could do to make it faster and healthier, as well as save your smite for scuttle, so you can invade or gank earlier on. I do mess up the Q on both the Krugs and the Raptors here, but you can still see that with this clear, you can get through faster and without your second smite, as well as a little bit healthier. This little trick with the wolves here is probably the best trick to get down with Kayn's clear. It does save a lot of time. So obviously with the leash, this clear would speed you up quite a bit and give you that smite for the scuttle contest. So it's not the biggest thing, but it definitely would help if you just pick this up. So yeah, I'm not really sure if you just didn't see her because your camera was on mid or something, but a little bit more map awareness would definitely help here. Like this was a free kill the Vi gave you, and you just like didn't take it. So it's really important to capitalize on any leads you have. That means resetting and spending your gold and collecting as many camps as you can as often as possible. Like ganks are nice, but if one isn't properly presented to you, then don't look for them too hard. Like you waste a lot of time just kind of going up and down the river here. See, like this gank is one of those things. Like it was very forced, and you guys only just won the 2v1. Had he got the double kill there, that could have been game ending for you. So it's not really worth the risk when you could have just went back, spent your gold, and cleared towards top and then gank. I'll touch on this probably a few times throughout this video, but the amount of time you spend in base is pretty important. You want to be shopping fast and leaving as fast as you can. So with this gank here, you kind of want to be spending that extra like 1 or 2 seconds to run to the river wall, because if you E from there, you're going to have a better chance of getting behind her. Or if you have sweepers, which you should, sweeping the river bush and just going from there. Because if you come from this raptor wall, she's going to see your circle on the other side of the wall and start running away, which is what happened. So I think here, you actually have enough time to just finish the dragon and ignore the Varus. No one else is coming yet, but by stopping the dragon and moving towards the Varus, you give his team enough time to get there and stop you. So once they show up, you've already lost the dragon. There's no point contesting this anymore. Most of your jungle's up, so you can just go clear that. There's no point in trying to contest this, especially when you're worth a shutdown, which you are right now. Giving them shutdown gold is way worse than losing the dragon. It's really important that you click tab before you go in for a gank, because you actually see the vibe before this and as you're going in. And if you click tab, you'll see that the Aatrox is not only 2 levels up, but also has a severe item advantage over both you and the teamer. So you need to just pull back here and maybe look for a counter dive, but you cannot fight this. Again, you've fallen off the correct jungle path here. You should have gone straight to your Krugs and cleared up towards top, looking for Herald or an Aatrox gank. You can see here that your wolves are spawning right now, so you could be about there right now. Instead, you've taken this risky play that allows the enemy to collapse on you and potentially get kills. Especially since you didn't see bot lane, so it's likely that they're going to come stop you, and you're not sweeping to see if you're on a ward. Luckily for you, your team does show up, and this does work out for you, but just because something works doesn't mean it was the correct play. If your team didn't show up, you likely just die here for no reason. You have 1200 gold right now, so you should definitely just recall, spend your gold, and then come back for Dragon with the Lux and your item, because going for this play 2v2 when we just saw Vi kill your mid laner, there's a fair chance you don't win this. Now you're actually sitting on like 2000 gold. Immediately after that dragon you should have recalled, because if you get into another fight right now, you're just wasting all the gold you've earned, as well as the fact that your jungle pathing is pretty weird here. You're not going for your Krugs or your red, you're going for wolves. So I'll just touch on this again. You definitely need to know what you're buying as you're recalling immediately, so once you get back you just shop instantly and then get out of base. And abilities like Kayn's E, you should definitely just be using that to get out there as fast as you can. The faster you gain map pressure, the more important it is, and the more impact you have on the game. So definitely don't waste your smite on camps at this point. You want to save it just for Dragon, Baron, or a fight, because it'll come very useful when fighting the likes of Diana or Aatrox. By opting to clear down instead of starting at your Krugs and clearing up, you've now got your Wolves and Gromp up while you're on the bot side of the map, and you've got no camps on your bot side, which puts you in this weird spot that leads you into this weird invade that's just not the play. If you're top side right now, you could both stop that Aatrox and help your team out with hero. Here we are again with these unnecessary risky plays. Similar to before, it's actually the same as before, only this time your team doesn't come to help you, so you end up dying and giving away a shutdown for no reason. It's quite a throw, especially since your top side's up, Herald's up, and Aatrox pushing up top. You definitely just shouldn't be doing this. At this point of the game, it kind of just feels like you think you're immortal. I'm aware that Red Kayn is quite strong and hard to kill, but if you keep dying, that won't be the case. Like here, you just needed to wait a small amount of time for Lux to show up. Like, just go clear a camp before you come down or something. Go for Scuttle maybe. But instead you opt for the 1v2 and then die right before drag spawns, which is a big way to throw the game and give away a free win. This fight started off fine. It was actually good, but it has prolonged way longer than it should have, because yet again, drag's not spawning, but your camps are. So there's not really any need to win this fight. There's no need to even have this fight, especially since this Aatrox is 3 levels above you. We don't want to fight this. We want to just go clear our camps and then reset, spend our gold, and come back as a team for either Baron or the next dragon. You actually make it out here, but then you decide to go back in for some reason. I assume you wanted to save the Ezreal with your W, but it's really not worth it. Giving this Aatrox any more gold could pretty much end the game, so we want to just avoid that, especially with all these camps up where we can clear. Like, there's no point in this fight. After all these pointless deaths we've had, we're actually just not ahead enough anymore to just run into their team like that. You definitely need to play this a lot smarter and safer, because if this kept happening, you would have lost this game. Most of your deaths this game have been completely avoidable, and usually from some weird invade, whereas you could have just been taking your camps. You got a lot done in this fight, and it went really well, and that's great. But every time you have a fight like this, you need to be looking at the best thing you can get from it, and in this case it's Baron, or at least the mid inhibitor turret. but instead you go for wolves and pretty much throw the entire fight away. The fight now means nothing because you didn't get anything, and because the Aatrox is splitting bot, he actually gets a tower here, and you guys get nothing. So he got that tower for free, and the enemy team all died for free as well. So they lost nothing for all dying. So this play really doubles down on not taking the Baron earlier. Because you didn't take the Baron, not only did you let them all die for nothing, but if you die here, you pretty much give them Baron for free. As well as the fact that your team is all coming. If you just wait like a little bit longer, it's guaranteed. You guys end up winning this fight anyway, but it's again very sloppy and you do end up dying. Whereas if you just waited a few more seconds, you easily win this no contest. It was a really good game, and you definitely seemed very confident on Kayn. Just a few things to work on with jungle paths, as well as picking when you should fight and where you should fight, and easy.